You ever spend your whole life dreaming of peace and quiet only to end up in a full-blown neighborhood war because someone thinks community spirit means trespassing on your property whenever they feel like it? Yeah, that happened. I bought what I thought was my personal slice of paradisia cabin by a private lake, but what I really bought was front row seats to the unhinged drama of a woman named Patricia, her fishing gang, and a power-tripping HOA that thought ownership was just a technicality. I was 38, freelancing full-time, and ready to settle somewhere peaceful after years of grinding. The property was perfect 12 acres, a quiet lake about half an acre wide, a small dock, nothing fancy, but it was mine. My real estate agent must have said private 10 times in the first 5 minutes. Private road, private dock, private lake. And I believed him. Foolish me. The first couple weeks were everything I'd hoped for, waking up to mist rising off the water, walking from my little office with a view, coffee on the dock, birdsong, the occasional splash of a fish, serenity. Then one Thursday morning, June maybe, I'm in the middle of a Zoom call when I hear loud country music outside. And laughter. I look out the window, 5 strangers, all set up on my dock like it was a public park. Coolers, folding chairs, beer, tackle boxes, they had a whole operation going. I go outside, half confused, half pissed, and there she is, Patricia. Blonde bob, pastel cardigan, perfectly manicured, outrage. She doesn't even look at me when I say, "Excuse me, this is private property." Just says, "You're new here, honey. Everyone uses this lake. It's basically community property." Now, listen, when someone calls you honey and ignores the part where you literally own the land they're standing on, your blood starts to boil. I try to be calm. "Mom, this lake is on my deed. I own it. I'm asking you to leave." That got her attention. She stands up slow, like a movie villain, and goes, "I'm Patricia Dubois, secretary of the Willowbrook HOA. This lake has been for the community for 20 years. You can't just show up and change everything." I couldn't believe it. I went back inside, grabbed the deed, marched back out like I was holding Excalibur. She didn't even blink. Papers can be wrong, honey. Common use trumps ownership sometimes. Look it up. One of our fishing buddies, this guy with a vest full of hooks, just laughs and goes, "Kids got a lot to learn about how things work around here." Next morning, I put up a sign, "Private property and no trespassing, violators will be prosecuted." Legal, clean, clear. You'd think that I'd end it, right? No. Same crew shows up by 10 a.m., laughing at my sign like it's a joke. One lady takes a selfie giving it a thumbs down, while another pretends to cast a line at it. That's when I knew this wasn't just entitlement, it was personal. I pulled out my phone, started recording, and told them again to leave. Patricia didn't even turn around. "We heard you the first time, honey. We're not going anywhere." And just like that, it was war. I built a chain barrier across the dock path, nothing aggressive, just a visual line in the sand. Even added a second sign saying I was open to discussing reasonable access if people respected my boundaries. That afternoon, Patricia showed up with cookies. Yeah. A plate of homemade chocolate chip cookies and this fake smile that looked like Botox couldn't even crack it. "Hi there, neighbor," she chirped. Thought we got off on the wrong foot. I invite her in for coffee because I'm still thinking maybe this can be worked out like adults, and she sits down, looks around like she's appraising the property, and says, "You should really reconsider the lake situation. People are starting to talk. You don't want to be known as that neighbor, do you?" There it was, the threat, wrapped in sugar and butter. I explained again that I owned the lake, and I wasn't trying to start trouble. I was open to compromise, but I expected respect. She smiled like a cat that just found a mouse in its bowl. "Honey, I think you're misunderstanding how things work in this community. Cooperation is very important." That night, the cops showed up. Two officers, one older, one young, standing on my porch with Patricia behind them, crocodile tears locked and loaded. "He threatened me," she said. "And he's illegally blocking public access to the lake." My jaw dropped. The young officer looked uncomfortable. The older one, Sergeant Williams, asked for proof. I handed over my deed, my survey, everything. Took him 10 minutes to read through it, and finally he turns to her and says, "Ma'am, you and your friends have been trespassing on private property." Her face. Priceless. Shock, outrage, denial. "We've been fishing here for 20 years, she sputtered. Williams didn't flinch. 20 years of trespassing doesn't make it legal. Then he looked at me. "You're within your rights to post signs and block access. Call us again if she returns." I wish that was the end. Next morning, my mailbox was full of HOA violation notices. Unauthorized signage. Obstruction of community pathways. Disruption of neighborhood harmony. Harmony? Are you kidding me? They fined me $150 for protecting my own land. That's when I called a lawyer. He took one look and said, "This is textbook harassment." Sent a cease and desist, advised me to install cameras, and told me to document everything. Then came the twist. An older neighbor knocked on my door one afternoon. "You Daniel. I think there's something you should see." He'd been the HOA treasurer for 15 years before Patricia ousted him. Turns out, she'd tried this before with the last guy who owned my place. Tried to bully him into donating the lake. When he refused, she spread lies, claimed it was community property, and started the same harassment campaign. He moved out within a year. Arthur had receipts. Meeting minutes, emails, even budget notes. Patricia's real plan. Get enough community use of the lake to claim it legally, then offer it to developers. She wanted to turn the lake into a selling point, use it to attract investment, boost property values, then flip the whole neighborhood into a private resort. She didn't care about fishing. She cared about control. Armed with all this, my lawyer filed complaints with the state AG, the local DA, and even the FBI. We sent everything to the HOA board. Days later, my cameras caught Patricia and two of her bodies at 2:15 a.m. Cutting my barrier, smashing my signs, and spray painting "Community Lake" in red across my dock. She looked straight into the camera and smiled. The police came back. This time, I showed them the footage. Patricia and her friends were arrested for vandalism, trespassing, and conspiracy. She was led away in handcuffs, still yelling that I was the real criminal. Yeah, no. The court didn't see it that way. Then came the final twist. A man named Marcus, former HOA president, showed up the day before the hearing with a fat folder of evidence. Turns out, Patricia had embezzled over $50,000 from HOA funds, forged documents, and was planning to sell off half the neighborhood, including the lake, park, and playground, to a developer in exchange for a consulting fees. It was a real estate scam dressed up as civic duty. She was charged with fraud, conspiracy, embezzlement, and more. Pled guilty. 4 years in prison, over $100,000 in restitution. The HOA was dismantled and rebuilt from scratch. Marcus was reinstated. And me. I still have my lake. Some mornings, I sit on that dock with a cup of coffee, mist calling off the water, and I remember the day Patricia said, "This isn't over." She was right. It ended worse for her. Now tell me this: do you think community tradition should ever override someone's legal rights? Where's the line between neighborly and narcissistic? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think.